Hello viewers, this is Machuka Nyarieko TV, and this is a continuation of the first episode, which was on the Finance Bill 2024-2027, in which we were examining the main stakeholders in the making of the Finance Bill, and whereby we were able to look at the taxman and how the income is or ought to be spent. However, we noted that in most cases the income is well documented, while the expenditure is surrounded by darkness, whereby we are not, or the Kenyans are not fully informed at the beginning or at the budget what the amount is exactly going to do, apart from the shadow expenditure, like now saying that the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Agriculture will be allocated this amount for what? Another or a third main stakeholder in the budget making process is the legislature. Most of the proposals from different ministries are normally taken to various parliamentary committees under whose portfolios it falls. For example, if it is an expenditure for the Ministry of Health, proposed income, proposed expenditure for or budget for the Ministry of Health, it is taken to, from Treasury, it is taken to various parliamentary committees by Ndungu, the CS for Finance. And these various committees will have to look at the proposals. And the Finance Committee in Parliament will also have to look at this. So Parliament plays a very significant role even before we are brought for those documents. Or the proposed bill. So some of these issues that are arising should be screened or weeded out during the parliamentary committees. Parliament is also very significant because they have the final say. The voting takes place in Parliament. So if there's anything that they feel is not well thought of, they should vote it out or remove it from the proposal or amend it. So they play a great role. They are the final sayers before the president puts an assent. Actually, they are the final sayers. Because if the president cannot force them to do that, because if they vote no for the proposed bill, it means it will not go forward. And if the president introduces some things that they may not like, still it will, and refers them to Parliament, still it will not go anywhere because they have the final say. The president cannot override what the Parliament has passed. but they can override the president's proposals by the 2/3 majority. So the proposal is entirely with the people's representatives, that is the members of parliament. They are the ones who should see where if people have made mistakes, and because they have been elected, because people have trust in them, that they are better than them, despite the fact that we may have good people outside, that they have been entrusted to be the custodians of the people's sovereignty. So it is up to them to ensure that only the desired document sees the light of parliament. So parliament, the legislature, plays an important role. Another stakeholder is the executive. The executive is mainly the originator of the proposal. We have different ministries because development in our nation is based at various ministries. We have different ministries that come up with their proposals. We have the state, the executive, the president, office of the deputy president, and the various stakeholders, including county governments, all provide their proposals to Treasury. And it is both logical and illogical. It is logical that they come up with the proposals that are good for their ministries, for the operation, proper operation of the ministries. But it is illogical or irrational when they exaggerate the budget for their various ministries. And this is where the problem is. And that's why we have the issue, or we have a government in the form of presidential government, in which the three institutions, the three main arms of the government, should be independent. The legislature here is supposed to vet what the executive has provided, because the executive will always provide a budget which is higher, hoping that the legislature is hoping that the legislature will downsize it. But the reverse is true. The reverse is true. Because the moment you put high expenditures that are so high, it means there will be higher taxes. Expenditures can be high once they are understood, once the peoples understand where the money is going to. But now this is a situation whereby everything is taken holistically. We shall allocate the Ministry of Education these periods, Ministry of Agriculture these periods, but there is no specific indication on what the money is going to do. We shall have this money, and instead they tell us that for the 8 billion that has been given maybe to Ministry of Agriculture, 7 billion is going to pay workers, and allowances, you only have 2 billion for development. So there is that darkness which keeps people wondering why we listen to budgets year after year and there is no development. So once this information is put very clear, then Kenyans will not maybe complain of the budget making processes. So the executive, in most cases, as I said earlier, it has this right of bringing a budget which is higher so that they can negotiate with the members of the assemblies, but the assemblies seem to ignore. They don't question why is it that this amount is so high. What is this amount going to do? Instead, you will see some members of parliament asking the executive that increase taxes and we will pass it. We have seen the importance of taxes. That is the Kenya we are. Increase taxes, we will pass it in parliament because we have seen the importance of taxes as the public seen that importance. Have you done public participation? Okay. Can you name various projects that can attest to your suggestion to increase the prices? What if the prices, if the economy has improved? What if the price, the budget remains the same as it was, so that they can figure out properly on what to do? Because the people still cannot feel it. So the executive is very significant in budget proposals and expenditure. They are the ones who spend. They are the ones who are allocated billions for specific jobs, and in most cases you find that these jobs or tenders have not been implemented. So it is a circle of events. Next we have the judiciary. The judiciary also plays a significant role in budget making process. This is where the public comes in. This is where UMTATA comes in. If there are issues that do not conform with our laws and the constitution, then you have to move to courts, and the courts will interpret the constitution and the laws of Kenya, whether the procedures followed are in order. So the judiciary in this case should also be well funded, so that the issues of passing some money behind the doors or exchange of money cannot take place, so that they can perform their duties accordingly. So the judiciary is very specific or very significant in the process of making the budget. Also we have the people themselves. The people are very specific and very important because they are the sovereign. The power belongs to the people. It is the people who have contributed their powers to their representatives through an agreement, through a consent. And The people have also been given an opportunity to participate in the budget making process through public participation. And in most cases, the people are always right because they give ideas in what they think ought to be done. At the same time, or on equal measures, the people are failed by the executive in most cases because the people will agree, we will contribute to the tax so that the work or the projects are implemented as you have decided. The people contribute, and then even before the second or even before the quarter of the financial year, you will see that the government maybe is doing nothing. No funds available for various institutions, for education, for doctors, and many other institutions, for counties. The government is always very effective, mostly in paying the institutions of national governments. Sadly, you find that money is missing in the national government. They are paid on dot. So the people will make their public participation. They will give about 500 views on a given issue. Now it is up to our legislature and our experts to decide on what to pick from the public participation and not to do things as they think themselves. Because even the protection of the economy is largely on the hands of the people. If they decide to do the otherwise, people may ignore even those projects and they will be destroyed. So the protection of the projects or the development should go hand in hand with the people's desire. The Constitution is also another guiding document in the process of budget making. Like now, it articulates that during the process of budget making, at least 15% of the national budget must go to devolved units, that is counties. And if they do not do as expected, then the judiciary comes in. Another way that people can participate in the process of making these rules is through petitions in parliament. But one wonders whether at a time like now when we have a legislature that is entirely captured by the executive, will this petition see the light of the day? Will it be workable? So that's the controversy that surrounds the budget making process. I think, or I wish, these views, these ideas, these suggestions that we are giving, we are not giving answers, but we are just identifying the gaps which they already know, but we are reminding and reminding them what ought to be done. I think it reaches their ears and see the sense of making a nation a working nation. Viewers, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe so that we can continue informing you on various happenings in our state. Thank you.